Well, good afternoon, Fab-U ladies, guests, and friends. We are here today with my friend Janelle, who is a life coach for women over 50. And before we get started with Janelle, let me introduce myself. My name is Carla Gardner. I'm known as the Fiery Grandma and the creator of the Fiery Grandma's Flab-U-Less Clubhouse. If you're not a member, we'll post the link below. Come on over and check out what's going out in the clubhouse and Biscotti Park, which is our village. So Janelle is a life coach, as I said, for women 50 and over. She's passionate about helping women with relationships, health, weight, and more. She's a certified life coach, life, weight, and health coach, and she's also certified in NLP and a Zumba instructor. Oh my gosh. So we may have to have you teach a class.
Oh, that would be fun.
So without further ado, Janelle, why don't you take the floor and give us a little more in-depth look at who you are and what you do.
Yeah, thanks, Carla. This is super fun. I love having this opportunity and I appreciate it so much. It's so fun to have this in your clubhouse. So you pretty much said it all. I help women over 50, midlife women over 50, create the life they want instead of the one they think they're stuck with. So basically what that means is that what was happening is just a woman in general, that age. And then as I started on my journey as a coach, what I was hearing a lot of from our age group was that they were basically doing life wrong in the sense of they felt like they should have lost the weight by now. They should have the relationships they want. They should have better relationship with their kids. They should be happier in their career. All of these shoulds were coming up for them. And like, I've been there myself. I'm like, oh, I should have, like before I went on this journey to become a coach, I was totally there. And so there was just this underlying belief that they should be doing something and they should have something different than they have. But the underlying belief was one of, it's probably too late in life for me to do this, to have this. And I was just like, wait a minute, this is all wrong. Like, we can have anything we want in our lives at any time. And so they were essentially giving up on their dreams instead of going for them because they had this underlying belief that they weren't even seeing as a belief. They were just like, oh yeah, this is the circumstance, versus it was an underlying belief that was even stopping them from continuing on their path that they wanted to be on, from really going for those midlife dreams. Because to me, this stage of our life is quite possibly the best.
I agree. And it's so funny listening to where you were and how you got to where you are today. I think, well, it was as if I were looking in the mirror. I really was right there. And what I've come to realize is our life in total is a journey that never ends.
Exactly.
But we have to choose to do something with it. Otherwise, yeah, it ends.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let me ask you, well, but you know what? You kind of just answered. So was it your story, your life, your experiences that inspired you to want to focus on women 50 and over?
Absolutely. Like, that's usually the way it is, right? It's like finding our favorite chocolate bar and we want to just share it with everybody. So yeah, I had 2 daughters I raised by myself, and then they left home and I was in this career, like I was a school superintendent. I had this great career. I had all this education and I was not happy there. I wanted to be with my partner. We've been together for a long time distance wise, but we both wanted to physically be in the same place. I wanted to leave my career. I wanted to start my coaching business. And all this was happening right at the 50 mark, like 48 to, quite honestly now, like there's still more things that I want to do in my life. Right. And so I'm not the special snowflake. I'm not a special unicorn. We can all have this, like whatever you're passionate about, if you take nothing else away from this, it is possible for you to create what you want in your life, whether that's a business or different relationships or better health or losing weight. And the crazy thing is, and I'm sure you know this too, Carla, is when you open the door in one area, it totally floods the other areas of your life.
And don't you think that that's true? And it's sort of happening now to me with the Clubhouse. Um, I've had the group forever, but I didn't have a clue what people wanted. I didn't know if I had what they wanted. And come to find out, I do. I just didn't know it. The door was open, but I hadn't walked through it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And every time you're willing to take that next step, to open the door, then you grow your awareness. Like I like to think of it, we're all in this awareness scale, and we can start out down lower, but then as soon as we start acting on our ideas and believing in ourselves, we gradually move up our level of awareness, and it creates new things in our life. Just like you've created the Clubhouse, like it's becoming more of what you want it to be.
Right. Well, and well, this isn't about me. So
I'm dying to hear now.
I kind of feel like you're so easy to talk to, and I don't feel like this is an interview. It's just two women over 50 chatting.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
so let me ask you, there are billions of people on this earth, and in this online space, there's probably billions as well, millions. So what makes Janelle different than any other coach for women 15 over?
Wow. So here's my answer to that is that I think that when everybody goes into coaching, there's a heart to help people. And so a lot of times we think that a lot of coaches are trained in focusing on strategy, like giving people the answers. And my coaching, the way that I feel like I'm different from all of those other people that you mentioned, is that I focus on the whole person. I focus on body, mind, heart, because we are a whole person. We tend to think we're just our mind, and we forget that there's this wholeness to us. And so when I do my coaching, and I do offer strategy, but this is what I focus on. We start with the level of the mind, our thinking, how we think, what our thoughts are creating. And I've done a lot of study on the brain. And so we have the conscious part and we have the subconscious part, but everything starts in the level of the mind. And so if we're not getting the results we want, somewhere it traces back to our thinking, either thinking we're aware we have and just push it away, or subconscious thinking that we're not even aware of. And so I help people pull those thoughts out. We move to the emotional or the heart part, which is the emotions and the feelings. Again, we've never been properly trained to look at our emotions and see them as something that can move us forward. We try and shove them down. And there's that analogy of the beach ball, that what we shove down in the water comes back up harder and faster. And so I really, we spend some time looking at what your emotions are creating, because when you think about it, what we do is either because of emotion we want to have or an emotion we're trying to escape. If I'm a lot of times when I work with weight clients, they eat because they're trying to escape a feeling, right? I've been guilty of that a lot of times, probably today, maybe. But we do it, like I call it buffering, and we go shopping, or we eat, or we distract ourselves with our phone, or we pull away because we want the dopamine hit that makes us feel good versus feeling that discomfort or that fear that's really going to be what moves us to the next place that we want to be. And
Yes.
then there's the piece of the body, and the body is just the actions that we're taking, but we want them to be aligned. We don't want to be thinking one thing and then our actions are totally separate.
Mhm.
I like to tell my clients, are your actions in alignment with your beliefs?
Mhm. And I don't know if it's women our age, our generation,
Mhm.
or if it's people in general that have been either taught or the example was set for them to follow, like in their parents' footsteps, to shove those emotions down. And so when they do come up, we don't know what to do with it. Do you think it's a generational thing or it's a human thing?
Honestly, I think it could be both, really. Um, I think that a lot of times what we're seeing in society right now, people are looking outside of themselves to give them happiness. They're looking for, like I just mentioned a minute ago, we want to go shopping, or we want to eat something to make us feel better. We're not trying to develop that within ourselves. We've in a way lost or never did see our capacity to create what we want from within. So we're chasing something outside of us. And we've got this huge drug epidemic. We've got all kinds of things going on because people are trying to escape emotion. And you know
Yes.
what? I've been so guilty of this. Like, I think about with my kids, or when I was a teacher, and I was like, I always said, don't hurt Joey's feelings, or um, suck it up and go do whatever. I would tell my daughters, just suck it up, which is fine. I mean, everything has a context, right? But basically, I'm saying either someone else is responsible for how you feel, you can't have your own back, or, and when we make somebody else responsible, we take away our own power, right? Or,
Absolutely.
yeah, or I'm saying, yeah, ignore the emotion, avoid it, and just move on with your life.
Yeah. I tell you, the one thing that I will test to is everything you've talked about, I've been working on for years.
Yes.
And fair disclosure and warning, it can get ugly, it can get hard, but the rewards, the release and the freedom
Mhm.
allows you to genuinely show up as who you are.
Right. Exactly. And I feel that way about myself. Like, I've gone 50 years. I mean, you know, subtracting from when I was 2 or 3, right? 53 years. I'll be 53 in a few weeks. Like, not for sure knowing, or I didn't for sure know who I even was. Like, and to carry these feelings of not enough or not worthy or things like that through your whole life, it's just time to stop it,
Yep.
because we have so much life. Like, I plan totally on living till I'm 93. So I nearly have half my life left. Of course I can do things. Of course I can do amazing more things. Of
Yeah,
course I can contribute in ways I want. And so can everybody else.
that's right. You know what? We could go on. I could let this go forever. I
I know.
thoroughly enjoying this. But so, two more questions for you. What are some of the tools that you could give the Fab-U-Ladies here at Clubhouse that would move them forward to taking the next step to achieve the goals that they want?
Right. So a lot of it is just what we talked about here today. Like when I work with my clients, it's about having them start with their thinking and start with figuring out what, like being willing to see their emotions, being willing. I teach them to process their emotions. It's asking yourself better questions. It's loving yourself the whole way through the process, learning to trust and love yourself the whole way through the process. But I think the big thing, like, is a challenge, I guess, for people today would be to really start being the watcher of their mind. And one great way to do that is just in the morning, we get up and like we have all these habits that we do, but just shifting a habit a little bit. And the habit can just be to get out a pen and paper and just do a brain dump. Like, what are you thinking today? And then look at those thoughts, like next to each thought, put how that thought makes you feel and really get connected with what you're thinking and how you're feeling, because those things will create the actions that you take toward your big goals and dreams, or continue you in the same habits, the habit of being who you are versus changing it to the habit for who you want to be.
Yes, that is awesome. Well, Janelle, thank you. I know you're busy, and I really appreciate and value your time and for volunteering to share you and your expertise with club members. If you will send me, or actually when we post this, if you'll please post where club members can get a hold of you if they have more questions or they want to follow you or work with you. And also, you mentioned that you had something you wanted to offer.
Sure. So I have a podcast, Fiercely Flipping 50. You can catch me there. But what I want to offer is I do weekly coaching. It's called Open Coaching. Anybody can sign up. Anybody can get coached on anything they want to. If you just want to see how coaching works, if you have something you want to bring and we can get you some help with it, if you just want to bring your desire to the call and talk about it with me, and I can coach you on the obstacles that are in your way right now, we can do that. And so I do that on Fridays, and you can direct message me through Facebook, through Instagram, through any of those. And I'll include that in the information that I post in the Clubhouse.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you again, Janelle. It's been a pleasure. And
Thank you.
Fab-U-Ladies, you're welcome. Fab-U-Ladies, let's give a round of applause to our very own club member, Janelle Jai.
Jay.
Jay.
Yes.
And Janelle will post the link below this video. Be sure and share each of our members with your friends and other women that you know that could benefit. When we all support each other, we all grow into the best life ever. Okay, until the next interview, see you later.